Hey guys, Dylan here from Badlands, bringing you another episode. Today we're at our New York property. We don't have too much work to do this weekend, but may as well bring you guys along. So, for this week, as of right now, me and Daniel are out putting up a camera. Just waiting for Will to get here, so we're just doing that in the meantime. But we're on this section of our property that gets kind of cut off by the power lines that run through our property. So a chunk of our land gets cut off, and then we have a little bit more property on the other side of the power lines. So we came over here just because there's a big marsh that the beaver's been damming up, and it's creating a nice water hole. So we figured, why not put a camera over here just to get an idea of what's going on. Don't mind me getting eaten up by bugs. But figured we give it a try to see what's kind of crawling through here. We found a really good trail the deer are using throughout here, so it's kind of off from the marsh. It's probably 30 feet off of the marsh, or not 30 feet, 30 yards off the marsh. So we're feeling confident that the deer are going to hopefully come up from this marsh and up onto this trail. Trail that we're hunting on, or possibly going to hunt on. If there's anything go down, it looks pretty well used, so we're just gonna kind of survey it, see what happens, and just kind of hope for the best. So other than that, we're going to be mowing some stuff in the field and possibly putting out more scrapes, but other than that, we don't have too much this weekend. Alright guys, so we got the camera over at the marsh set up, so we're just going to kind of hope and see what that brings to us. But currently we're at one of our spots called the OG spot. Don't know why, we just haven't really changed the camera names. But this spot is kind of near our Clover Woods plot. Oh, I guess we're taking the camera down, never mind. The camera's been acting up around here. A lot of our cameras have been acting up. We bought a couple like 12 muddy cameras from this, I think it was the Ohio Sportsman Showdown in Columbus, I believe it was. And some of those cameras aren't really working, so when we looked closer at them, some of them actually look used. So I think we got kind of ripped off on some of them because they were selling them for cheaper than normal muddy cameras. So, but you know, you get what you pay for, and didn't realize it. But
Alright, so we got the camera hung up right there. We got this nice little clover plot that our lovely man Dylan just cut. We used to have a tree stand. I believe it was either right up in the tree the camera's on, or it definitely was the one the camera's on, but it wasn't the best. But we had loads of deer in this plot in the past, so we decided to frost seed it this past spring and come in here and cut it every so often during the spring up to early summer. So rubber's just getting that all right there in front of the camera so we don't have it grow up. But they tend to shoot out right through here. We got deep, thick cover and bedding all the way over that side. The soybeans are right out front over there near the cabin, and this huge little hollow area covered by pine trees along the whole side of the edge of the field with the corn up there. So we're eventually going to have to get a stand up in here, but for the meantime, we just got the camera rolling in here, so stay tuned. We don't know if we might replant this in the fall or what we might not do. We might just keep it, so Stay tuned. Got one other camera set up as Dylan was showing you earlier, so I don't know what they plan on doing the rest of the weekend, but I gotta head out. But looking forward to getting everything else planted here come the end of the month, moving into the season. So that'd be like turnips and all that in Nebraska. So
Alright guys, so we got the clover in the back all cut up. It's looking pretty good. I know Daniel said earlier we might try to till up that clover and maybe plant some oats back there, or try to retill it and just plant clover. Or I was maybe thinking of maybe spraying some, I think it's called clethodim back there, but clover might be too spotty just to do that. So I don't know, once the clover regrows back up after that fresh cut, maybe get a better idea for that. But we got time to think about it, so we'll let you know on our thoughts of it later on. But Will is here. Daniel left to go do some physical therapy and won't be back until tomorrow because he's going to be hanging out with his girlfriend. So it's just going to be me and Will here for tonight. But in the meantime, we're going to cook up some dinner, and then right after that, we're going to spray the soybean field. We just bought some of the Domain Crank D. I think it's 8-13-13 fertilizer or something along those lines, but we've heard good things from it, and I talked to one of the Domain representatives, and he highly suggested using the Crank D on the soybeans. So we bought 5 gallons of the Crank D, and we're going to spray it on these beans tonight. As I mean, these beans are looking phenomenal right behind me. We'll get another view of it, but just they're growing really well and doing a lot better than we had in the past. We planted our backfield for 2 years with the soybeans, and they did not do well. I mean, they might have gotten like around this tall, and these beans are just doing a whole lot better up here. So what's nice about this field up here that we planted in, it used to be just hay. The guy next door, he would hay this field because he had a couple animals that he would feed the hay to, so it was a good haying field, so it had good nutrients in the soil. And in the back, I guess he didn't hay that, and as we can see, the soil quality is not the best out there. So we're hoping that, you know, next year we can spread some fertilizer and some lime and do a possible soil kit test just to get an idea of what we need to put in, so we can actually plant beans back there, because I think that's going to be more ideal for the deer, since up here isn't the best area, since there isn't very much stands or trees to put a stand in, and so what. So enough with that jibber jabber. Yeah, so soon after we eat, we're gonna get these beans sprayed, and hopefully they'll get to be flourishing even better for next week. Alright, so it's currently Saturday morning, and already running into mishaps this morning. We had the plans of today of putting out some fly traps over around the property, just to kind of contain the flies that are around here, because they get really bad during the summer, especially during the fall. So we're trying to put out these bags that have like an odor to them, and they collect flies and all the bugs. So we're going to give that a try. We've seen it on YouTube before, so we're going to give it a shot. Hopefully it works. But other than that, our other goal was to try to till up the strip, or we made a strip that was previously kind of tilled up, and we were going to try to plant a cover crop in front of where we were going to put our brassicas. in the process of retilling up this strip, we sunk heavily into the dirt. Tractor got stuck. Luckily I had the bucket on there, so I was able to kind of push myself out with the bucket, tilting it. So, but yeah, it was not good. I mean, you can see that these ruts are not very good right now. They're about 2 feet deep, so it is way too saturated back here to even be tilling. It just sucks because it's right in the middle of where the cover crop would be planted, because the left and far right sides are perfectly fine, but it's just this middle part that just collects water and it just gets too saturated, which kind of sucks. But I'm not sure if we'll be able to plant this cover crop or not this season, just with the fact that it's always saturated down here. So I kind of mentioned to Will, you know, the fact that it gets so saturated down here, we might plan on building our pond that we kind of have planned out over here. There's another wet spot over by near our corn, right at the bottom of the hill. But because it's saturated over there, and we have a very small watering hole right over there. It's just by like a 5x5 water hole, and I mean, it does something, but we feel like if we can build something big, do it in a good spot. So I'm thinking, instead of doing it over there, we're going to do it over in this spot, I think, because it seems like this spot gets a lot more water drainage, and I think that's going to help keep that pond more full. And yeah, so other than that, we don't really have much left to do here. I think we're just going to kind of go around and see what needs to be done real quickly, and honestly, I think we're going to try to get out of here today. So we're going to go talk to Will and try to figure out what to do next. Alright guys, so after the whole dilemma with the food plot, or the cover plot that we attempted to do, I think it pretty much just wraps up what we were trying to do this weekend. I think we're just gonna, I don't think we're gonna cut the field yet. I think we're just gonna wait on that for a little bit. There wasn't really a big need to cut it this instant, but otherwise from that, I think we're just gonna kind of wrap it up from here. But while I'm here, I figured I'd kind of show you around what's going on in our backfield. So the back part of our field's growing pretty well. It's pretty much in the V6 stage. I believe it's called V8 or V6, one of the two. I think it's V6. So it's in that stage. It's about knee-high to waist-high. So it's doing pretty darn good over there. But in the front part of our field, it's not doing so. Oh god, I got a bug in my eye. I think we put. Good thing we put up those bug traps. But in the front part of our field, it's not doing so hot. There's a lot of ragweed growing, and I think that's a good portion or a good reason why the corn's not really growing. I think it's just competing. But I think also just along with the turkeys ripping up the corn along the wood side, or the one side of our plot, it's kind of sparse. It's not really full and luscious, but on the other side of the plot, it's kind of doing well with seed spreading wise. But yeah, so I think we're gonna have Daniel come out here either tonight, or he'll do it tomorrow one too, and spray some glyphosate in here, try to get rid of as much of this ragweed as possible, so we can try to save as much corn as we can. Because I think our goal is to leave it up during the season, just to provide some cover for them. Maybe down the road we'll just push it down or something like that, but I'm not quite sure. But I think it'd be better just for us to leave it up and kind of experiment with it, see what happens. Hopefully it can draw in the bigger bucks, since with a lot of does maybe coming in for cover and eating off the cobs, so hopefully that kind of spikes up the rut for us. But other than that, I think that's going to wrap it up for today's video. Sorry that there wasn't much content for you guys for this week, but I know next week I think we're going to plant the brassicas over in that one spot. Hopefully it's not too sopping wet. No, the left side should be fine. The right side will probably get 3/4 of it should be fine. I know a quarter of it, holy cow, will be fine, or won't be fine because of the saturation of the water just kind of going into that one spot. So hopefully it can dry out as much as possible next week, so we can possibly try to get the cover crop in, because we would like to do that as much as possible. But if not, we'll just have to wait for next year and maybe plant brassicas in a different spot or something like that. But thanks guys for tuning in. Don't forget to check out our sponsors. We'll leave the links in the description. They got great gear, great apparel. So give them take a look at them, and please like, comment, and subscribe. And thanks for watching. Peace.